In the news this week, transsexualism activists attack women concerned over plans to self-identify gender. The Scottish Government's Name Person scheme comes under fresh fire from legal groups. And a senior doctor says having an abortion is no different to removing a bunion. Hello. A shocking attack on a 60-year-old woman by several pro-transsexual activists has been widely denounced in the media. Maria McLaughlin was punched and kicked as she met with a group to discuss government plans to allow people to legally self-identify their gender. Janice Turner, who witnessed the attack, wrote in The Times that it revealed the lengths to which activists will go to shut down debate. Changes to the very definition of man and woman are being proposed, yet it is almost impossible to hold a public meeting to discuss them. She also highlighted the large volume of online material inciting violence against women who feel that allowing males to self-identify as female threatens women's safety. Journalist Christina Patterson told Sky News that self-identification made some women deeply uncomfortable.
Certain women are raising alarm bells about this and saying, you know what, we are not very comfortable with all of this. But that is something you can't say anymore, apparently. And so all these activists are going out and being incredibly aggressive in their protest about this. And it's now such a sensitive issue that they couldn't even have a debate about this. They couldn't publicise the event.
Rules on data sharing under the Named Person scheme are so complicated, teachers and health visitors will need legal degrees to understand them, MSPs have heard. This week, Deputy First Minister John Swinney was grilled on the code of practice intended to guide named persons on sharing sensitive information about children. Representatives of Scotland's top legal organisations also attacked the code. Janice Scott QC of the Faculty of Advocates said its complexity would be intimidating.
The thought of a primary school teacher sitting down at 4 o'clock in the middle of marking a load of books and thinking this one through without help and trying to make their way through a code of practice on things which I as a lawyer would find difficult, in the knowledge that if they get it wrong, it's going to be raised in a court of law, strikes me as being something which would be unattractive. Responding
to MSP's criticism, Swinney agreed to consider their views, but said that the final version of the scheme would be his decision to make. Simon Calvert, of the campaign group No to Named Persons, said it is a disgrace that the Deputy First Minister is failing to listen to concerns.
Well, you really couldn't make it up. Ministers did not listen to concerns about the named person scheme the first time they were legislating, and it doesn't seem that they've learned anything from that. I mean, Mr Swinney might as well have sat in that committee room with his fingers in his ears. He seemed frustrated at even having to answer questions from MSPs. And frankly, it's a disgrace, the way that the concerns of MSPs and of lawyers and of parents are just being swept aside.
Abortions should be completely decriminalised and made much more readily available, a leading medic has said. Professor Leslie Regan, president of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, complained that women who purchase abortion drugs online could be subject to prosecution. She argued that abortion should be totally decriminalised, making it as easy to access as minor medical procedures, such as removing a bunion. The Christian Institute contacted the RCOG, which confirmed the remarks were accurately reported. Clara Campbell, of pro-life charity Life, stressed that decriminalisation would lead to abortion on demand with little regulation. We urge Parliament not to be pressured by the abortion industry and its allies, and to act to protect the interest of vulnerable women and their unborn children. And finally, Coalition for Marriage, Britain's largest pro-marriage organisation, has appointed a new campaign director. Thomas Pascoe, a former journalist and manager of an international development project, took on the role from the 20th of September. The news was welcomed by outgoing campaign director Colin Hart, who will remain as chairman. I am delighted to pass the baton on to Thomas to carry on our work of supporting those who believe in traditional marriage and are concerned about politically correct state interference in this ancient institution. In a video on the campaign group's website, Mr Pascoe explains C4M's ambitious plans for the coming year.
Over the coming months, I will be campaigning for marriage. I'll be meeting many of you at public meetings. I'll be bringing the core issues to the attention of policymakers, and I'll be helping schools and individuals protect themselves and their right to believe in normal marriage.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.